Oh, yeah, I got one. No. Yeah, I got it. Yes. Yes.
Welcome back, everybody. My name is Ben Stone. You're watching canalgratis.com, and I've got some new faces here. This is Sara and Hannah, who are part of our e-commerce at Canal Gratis. And as you know by now, I am on Åland Island, which is a part of Finland, right between Sweden and Finland. And I'm out here today chasing after pike in some pretty awful conditions. And I've got Sara and Hannah along, and we're gonna attempt to work really hard to cover all of the different areas of this lake to try to get ourselves a couple of fish yet today. So I'm gonna be walking you through just all the processes of us going through different scenarios, different techniques, different locations on the lake to try to find these fish, because even on the tough days, we all struggle. So hopefully this video is gonna help some of you guys learn how to cover water in those tough scenarios. So we've actually been out on the water for a couple of hours now, and what I'm going to do right now is just walk you through all of the different locations on the lake that we've actually been fishing. Of course, on conditions like this, there's a number of different areas where these fish can be hanging out. So it's really important as an angler that you don't stick to doing one thing. The fish can be shallow, they can be off break lines, or they can be in the main lake. So it's really important that you're spending your time wisely covering all of those different areas. And just because you're not catching anything doesn't mean the fish aren't there. It's going to take time. So by covering all of these areas, the second we do get a fish, we pay special attention to that. And we can use our graphs to, of course, see our history of where we've been, mark waypoints if we have activity. And that's really important for sort of putting the pieces together in the puzzle to find where these fish are going to be and to find our best area to be when that sun goes down, when the fishing's going to be at its best. So using your electronics is really important in these kind of scenarios, so we're just gonna show the graph here and kind of talk about the different areas we've been fishing. So if you take a look at our GPS trails here, this is the first location we started fishing, which is just a weed line. So that's probably the most typical spot. It's just a confidence area for me in particular, just fishing weeds. There's always gonna be fish in the weeds. So we spent that first time just kind of fishing that classic weed line, and we worked down. And of course, now you can see here we've got some waypoints marked and where we had activity. This is just on a main lake bar with rocks on it. So that's another pretty popular type of spot when you're fishing, is just any main lake points. You can see then we transitioned out into the main lake and fishing the basin. Of course, you guys have seen on my channel this year, fishing the main lake basin can be a really, really effective way to catch muskies. And I've learned just recently that that's a very effective way to catch pike in Europe. So we donated some time of our day to fish that main lake basin. And now we just moved up super shallow, fishing the deepest contour we could find. So we're basically fishing a sharp weed edge, but it's still close to deep water. So kind of like a hybrid between the two spots that we started on. So those are basically three completely different areas that we've dedicated some time to. And of course, we've marked our activity. We can see where we've been. So, you know, if this was muskie fishing, I would be marking waypoints on my follows, and that gives you information to use to go back onto later, which is very, very valuable, of course, because you want to utilize that last part of the day on your best spots. So as a muskie angler myself, I'm pretty used to going all day without action at times. So for me, today hasn't really been too discouraging. I'm just waiting for that prime time to when those fish are potentially going to go. But as a resident who's always fishing here, what is today like for you? And is this typical, or is today kind of out of the ordinary?
Yeah, as you said before, to be honest, this is not the ideal weather to fish for pike because it's not too much wind, it's very warm outside, and I mean, you know, here at Åland Island, actually there's so many pike swimming around everywhere. I've been fishing here 2 times before, and it's like you can catch like 80 pike in one day, but today is not that day, and it's kind of a struggle, and it's also fun because then you will appreciate when you find them, you know. Yep. Yeah, so it's a struggle, but we will try different techniques and different spots, and hopefully we will find some pike.
Right. We have Hannah in the boat, who is a much more novice angler, so for her experience between the three of us is probably way different. So how is today going for you? Are you feeling pretty discouraged?
Actually, I'm not going to lie. When you said, Sara, you've been fishing for 3 days,
Yeah.
I'm like, my longest time were like 6 hours, I think, without nothing. And then I started to be like, okay, I give up now. But now I'm not going to give up yet, but yeah, I'm feeling a bit tired already.
Yeah, and to be honest, also we're running out of time, and maybe we'll have like 1 hour of fishing more, and then we need to meet the other guys for dinner, so we need to do something to find the pike.
Yeah.
I had something, right? Yeah.
Oh really?
Keep fishing. Yeah, I keep fishing. Make a new cast of them.
Yeah. Oh, take it. You take it.
Yeah, but I'm too far away.
I won't take your pike, Hannah.
It's yours, you can borrow it.
So like I mentioned earlier, marking your spots on a graph is really important. This is something I do all the time in musky fishing, but we just dropped another waypoint right on where Hannah just had that bite, and you can see it's pretty close proximity to that other bite. So if we didn't have that piece of data, we wouldn't know exactly where that previous bite was, and we just wouldn't be able to collect all of our data on a graph like this to have something physical to look at for reference. So graphing your data is really, really important. Marking waypoints when you get bites, follows, whatever it is. Use your technology if you have it. It's very beneficial. So the fact that we just had another bite in the almost exact same area as that other bite means that we're going to really focus our searching on that area now, because knowing that there's potentially 2 active fish there, of course, is a much higher percentage than going and fishing this potentially dead rest of the shoreline. So we have limited time. We're really going to use our time wisely and stay on the area where we've had our action. So we're going to rerun the spot and hope that we might get another chance at that fish, or we might get another chance at a new fish. But staying in that area is really important, especially when you have limited time. So we're going to rerun the spot and see what happens.
Oh. Nice. Oh, yeah, I got one. No. Yeah, I got it. Yes. Yes. Oh, finally.
Good one, Sarah.
Yeah, we've been fighting for this one. No, it's fine. No net.
Small one? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it's a small one. It's a super small one, but still. Oh, Jesus. We've been fighting for this one. So much fun. No, it's fine. I think we're just gonna take it like this.
Yeah, it's not the biggest pike, but still. You know, these days when you struggle so much and you get a pike, even this small, it's just so much fun. Finally, it's worth all the hours we put into this. Right, guys?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So cool. Okay, so we're gonna put this small pike back to the water, and then we'll see how much time we have left. I think it's time to go home very soon.
So we are pretty much at the last of our time, and Sarah finally just caught a very small pike at that, but it is a pike, and by using our data of the previous hits that we had, we stayed in that area and it paid off with our only fish of the day at the very last second. So that's an amazing feeling for all 3 of us. Pretty awesome way for today to go. I mean, that's awesome that you caught that fish. I mean, right at the last second.
Yes, like when you're short on time like today, then you want to fish places that you feel very confident about and where you know that there is active pike. So we did it, a textbook example.
Yep.
It's super cool and good guiding, Ben.
Yeah.
But I never did it. I would rather stay here and fish instead of going back. So shouldn't we do that?
Yeah, we should, but we need to go with the other guys for dinner.
Yeah.
We have dinner plans, so it's time to wrap it up. And yeah, it was a cool day.
Yeah. Awesome for me, awesome for them. I think it worked out in everybody's favor. So yeah, appreciate you guys watching this video. We'll see you in the next one, and thank you.
Thanks.